HOA Karen dumped oil in my pool. Didn't know she'd face a $500,000 EPA fine. I stood there in my backyard, staring at my pride and joy, my sparkling in-ground pool, now turned into a black, oily nightmare. The stench hit me like a punch to the gut. It was September 2024 in Sycamore Heights, Ohio, and I'd just come home from a work trip to find this disaster. I'm Daniel Green. Folks call me Danny. I'm an environmental appliance consultant who thought I'd scored the perfect suburban life when I bought this house 6 months ago. Manicured lawns, cookie-cutter homes, peace and quiet. That's what the realtor promised. But I didn't sign up for a war with Karen Wilcox, the HOA president who decided I was her personal punching bag. And she sure as hell didn't expect her petty revenge to slap her with a $500,000 environmental fine. Hey folks, if you've ever had an HOA Karen turn your life upside down, smash that like button and drop your story in the comments. I need to know I'm not alone. Subscribe too, cause this tale's wild, and you won't want to miss how it ends. It all started at the neighborhood welcome mixer back in March. I'd barely unpacked when Karen swooped in, clipboard hugged tight like a shield, her smile all teeth and no warmth. "Welcome to Sycamore Heights," she said, voice dripping with fake cheer. "I'm Karen Wilcox, HOA president. Here's our community guidelines. Handboa, take property values seriously around here." She shoved a binder into my hands, heavy as a brick, and I mumbled a thanks, figuring she was just overly enthusiastic. But that night, I caught how neighbors stiffened when she walked by, plastering on grins and nodding like she was royalty. I should have known then. She wasn't just pushy. She was trouble. For a month, things were fine. I worked from home, crunching environmental regs, and spent evenings by my pool, a gorgeous setup the previous owners left behind. It was my sanctuary after long days, the water catching the sunset just right. I decided to repaint my front door. The old maroon was peeling, so I picked a deep navy blue, sharp against the gray siding. I was halfway through the second coat, paintbrush dripping, when Karen's knock rattled the door like a drill sergeant's fist. "Excuse me," she said, arms crossed, her smile tight as a drum. "Did you submit a color change request form before painting?" I blinked, brush still in hand. Didn't know I needed to. It's just a refresh, not changing the house. Her nostrils flared. Section 4.7 of the HOA guidelines. Any external aesthetic mods, including doors, need architectural committee approval. Navy blue's not on our palette. Restore to maroon by tomorrow, or it's $50 a day. I stared dumbfounded. $50 for a door? But she had that binder look, so I swallowed my pride and repainted it maroon the next day. By afternoon, she strolled past, snapping a photo of my compliance with a smug nod, like I'd passed some test. I figured that was it. Lesson learned. HOA rules are weird, move on. Nope, that was just her opening shot. Over the next few weeks, violation notices piled up like junk mail. Garbage can visible on a non-pickup day? $50. Grass half an inch too tall? $50 more. Pot of plants on my porch not on the approved vegetation list. Another $50. Each one signed by Karen, her cursive sharp as a blade, with a typed fines pending warning. I peeked out my window and saw other yards with worse, overgrown shrubs, tacky lawn gnomes, but no orange slips on their doors. Why me? I got my answer at the monthly HOA meeting in June. I stood up, calm as I could, and asked, why am I getting hit with notices when my neighbors aren't? My trash can was out once, but Tom's across the street's been there all week. Karen waved a hand, dismissing me to a room of squirming homeowners. We're addressing all violations, Daniel. Some folks just rack up more than others. Her tone said sit down, and the crowd's fake smiles told me they weren't backing me up. That's when I remembered. Back at the mixer, I questioned her plan to raise dues for a community gazebo nobody wanted. She'd glared then. And now, I was the target. Things got nuts when summer hit. One July evening, I had a few friends over. Quiet barbecue, burgers on the grill, beers by the pool. Around 8 p.m., Karen popped up at my fence like a jack-in-the-box. "Excuse me," she barked, loud enough to stop our chatter. HOA noise ordinance kicks in at 8. Gatherings at 65 dB are over our 55 limit. She waved her phone, some app glowing. I walked over, keeping cool. "Karen, we're just talking. No music, no yelling. Perception's subjective." She snapped, "The app doesn't lie. And that pool, Recreational water features can't be used after 7:30 per Section 12. Splashing's ambient noise. Lights are pollution. My buddy Michael, a lawyer, stepped up. Ma'am, I know the Fair Housing Act. Restricting a private pool's hours on private land is a stretch for any HOA. Her eyes slitted. You a real estate lawyer? No, he said. Then stick to your lane. She cut him off, turning to me. Verbal warning this time. Next, it's official. I installed solar path lights along my driveway a week later. Small, safety-first stuff. 2 days after, an orange notice. Non-conforming landscape accessories. Competitive illumination discrepancy. $50 a day. That's when I knew. This wasn't rules. This was personal. I emailed the HOA board, CC'd residents I'd met, laying out the targeted fines with pics of ignored violations elsewhere. Tom's trash, Lisa's wild roses. Karen called me that night, voice shaking with rage. How dare you undermine me with that mass email? That's borderline harassment. I just want transparency, I said, steady. We pay dues, don't we deserve clear rules? You don't know who you're messing with, she hissed. 7 years I've run this. HOAs don't last here. Click. Deadline. I set up security cameras. Ned told me I'd need them. Good call. 'Cause 3 days later, I came home from a trip to find my pool a toxic swamp. Oil, thick and black, staining everything. Karen had gone too far, and I was about to find out how far she'd fall. The summer heat was still clinging to Sycamore Heights, Ohio that July evening in 2024, when Karen Wilcox turned my quiet barbecue into her personal battleground. I'm Daniel Greenan to most, 42, environmental consultant, and by then, 6 months into what I thought would be a peaceful suburban life. My backyard pool shimmered under string lights, burgers sizzled, and my buddies laughed over beers, until Karen's voice cut through like a chainsaw. She'd already hit me with petty fines for my door, trash can, grass, even porch plants. But this was her stepping it up. And I was starting to see the war she declared wasn't just about rules. It was personal. Hey folks, think I should have fought back sooner? Drop your take in the comments and hit subscribe. This drama's about to get messy. You won't believe what's coming. She stood at my fence, phone glowing with some noise app, barking. You're gathering 65 dB over our 55 limit after 8 p.m. And that pool, no use after 7:30. Splashing's noise. Lights are pollution. My friends froze, beers mid-sip, as I walked over, keeping my cool. Karen, we're just talking. No music. No chaos. The app doesn't lie, she snapped, eyes glinting. Section 12 says recreational water features shut down early. Verbal warning, next time it's fines. Michael, my lawyer buddy, stepped up, voice calm but firm. Ma'am, the Fair Housing Act doesn't let HOAs micromanage private pools like that. It's shaky ground. Karen's glare could have melted steel. You a real estate expert? No, he said. Then but out. She turned to me. Shape up, Daniel, or pay up. She stormed off, leaving us dumbfounded. She's nuts, Michael muttered. But I saw it. Her smug nod as she glanced back. This wasn't about noise or lights. Back at that welcome mixer, I called her out on raising dues for a gazebo nobody wanted. First meeting, first strike. Now every violation notice, trash, grass, plants at my door, while Tom's overflowing cans across the street got a pass. Lisa Carter, next door, had wild roses climbing her fence, no fine. Why me? Revenge. Next week, I installed solar path lights. Subtle, ground level, for safety. After tripping over my own damn driveway one night. 2 days later, an orange slip taped to my door, non-conforming landscape accessories. Competitive illumination discrepancy with standard lamp post. $150 SL/day. I tore it down, fuming. Competitive illumination? My lights were dimmer than the streets. I checked the binder. No rule against solar lights. Just vague aesthetic harmony crap. Karen was making this up as she went. I'd had enough. I emailed the HOA board, Tom Reynolds the treasurer, and a few others. CC'd every resident I'd met at mixers. I'm being fined for trash, grass, plants, lights others don't. Pics attached. Tom's cans, Lisa's roses, no notices. Where's the consistency? We deserve clear rules. Send it at noon, July 10th. By 6 p.m., my phone rang. Karen, voice shaking with fury. How dare you mass email residents, she hissed. Undermining my authority? Borderline harassment. Transparency is not harassment, I said, steady. We pay dues. We should know how rules work. You don't get it, she growled, low and mean. 7 years I've run this HOA. Standards matter. People like you don't last in Sycamore Heights. The line went dead. Her threat hung like smoke. She's unhinged, Michael said when I told him. She's singling you out. Document it. Already on it, I said. That night, I ordered security cameras. Front, back, poolside. Ned told me she'd escalate, and I wasn't waiting to find out how. They went up July 12th. Discreet, but covering every angle. Good thing, too, 'cause she didn't stop. 2 days later, I hosted another barbecue. Smaller, quieter. Just Michael, Lisa Carter from next door, and her husband. We kept it low-key. No pool lights. Voices hushed after 8. At 8:15, Karen was back, leaning over my fence with that damn app. 60 dB, she announced, loud enough for the street. And I saw you swimming earlier. Post 7:30. Violation. That's $100, 50 per infraction. Swimming? I said, incredulous. I dipped my feet. Nobody swam. Water disturbance, she shot back. Rules are rules. Pay up, or it's official tomorrow. Lisa piped up, nervous, but firm. Karen, my kid splashes all day. No fines. YD. Karen's eyes slit. Mind your business, Lisa. Daniel's a repeat offender. She stalked off, leaving us stunned. She fined me once, Lisa whispered. After my roses, $200 last year. I paid to shut her up. She's got it out for you worse. What? I asked, pulse climbing. You questioned her gazebo, Michael said. Petty tyrants hate pushback. Next morning, another notice. $100 fine. Noise and pool use. July 14th. My tally was at $350 a day now. Door lights this. I stormed to the HOA meeting that night, July 15th, binder in hand. These rules aren't in here, I said, loud, to a room of fidgeting neighbors. No decibel limits. No pool hours. Show me where. Karen waved me off. Smug interpretations evolve. Board discretion. You're disrupting order, Daniel. Then why only me? I pressed. Tom's trash, Lisa's plants, nothing. Explain that. We prioritize, she said, voice ice. Some need more attention. The crowd stayed mute. Scared or complicit. I couldn't tell. I left, seething, and emailed the board again. Solo this time. Meeting with Karen and all members. Discuss targeted enforcement. Name a time. Tom replied quick. Tomorrow. Her place. 7 p.m. Too easy. Suspicious. But I'd take it. Her colonial house was pristine. Lawn clipped to perfection. Not a weed in sight. I showed up, picks and binder ready, expecting a board sit down. Nope. Just Karen, perched in her living room like a queen. Others had commitments, she said, flicking her wrist. I speak for them. This is targeted, I said, laying out photos. Tom's cans. Lisa's roses. Untouched. My fines are piling up, with her skate. What gives? She leaned forward, smile thin as a razor. Mr. Green, you missed the point. Our guidelines keep Sycamore Heights elite. Property values. Aesthetics. Your defiance. Door, pool, lights, shows you don't fit. Some adapt to community life. Others don't. A place without an HOA might suit you better. You're saying leave? I asked, heat rising. I'm saying fit in, she snapped, or face consequences. I walked out, rage boiling. She wasn't enforcing rules. She was bullying me out. That night, I pored over the bylaws, hours of fine print. No noise limits. No pool hours. No illumination discrepancy. Her violations were fiction, wielded like a club. I'd fight, not flee. Then, July 18th, I got back from a 2-day trip. Consulting gig in Cleveland. Pulled into my drive, and the smell hit. Morbid. Chemical. I raced to the backyard. My pool, my sanctuary, was a black, oily swamp. Concrete stained. Garden bed soaked. Karen had crossed a line she couldn't uncross. The stench of oil hit me like a wall as I stood in my backyard that evening of July 18th, 2024, staring at my ruined pool in Sycamore Heights, Ohio. I'm Daniel Green, Danny too, and I just walked into a nightmare. After a 2-day work trip, my sanctuary, crystal water, perfect for unwinding, was now a black, toxic sludge, staining the concrete and seeping into my garden beds. Karen Wilcox, The HOA president who'd been hounding me with fines for months had gone from petty tyrant to full-on vandal. But what she didn't know was that my security cameras had caught her every move, and that footage was about to turn her world upside down. Hell yes, I was going. I'd spent 6 months bending, ducking, trying to make peace, but after what she did, I was done playing nice. Karen wanted war? Then she'd get it. Cameras, EPA, lawyer and all. That night, July 19th, I walked into the Sycamore Heights clubhouse, and it was buzzing. Word had spread. Karen Wilcox, the queen of the HOA, cuffed and hauled away for environmental sabotage? People were whispering like it was a funeral, but for once, they weren't scared of me. I stepped up front, binder in hand, same one I'd brought before, only now it was thicker, with photos, timestamps, EPA notices, and copies of the video. The remaining board members sat stiff, especially Tom Reynolds, eyes flicking between me and the growing crowd. "I'm calling this what it is," I said loud and clear, projecting over the murmurs. "This isn't a dispute. This is criminal. Karen Wilcox vandalized my property, violated federal law, and tried to ruin my life over a power trip." Tom stood, swallowing hard. "Daniel, this is serious. We don't condone. You let her run unchecked for 7 years," I cut in. "You gave her free rein to target residents, and now? Now she's committed a felony. Your silence made space for this." Lisa Carter stepped forward. "He's right. She fined me for roses, and I paid to stay quiet." We all did. Michael arrived right on cue, handing out copies of a formal complaint, targeted enforcement, abuse of authority, and a petition to remove Karen and reform the HOA bylaws. People were signing before he even finished explaining. Tom looked pale. "We'll review this. Call a vote." "Call it now," I said, "or I go to the press. EPA's already involved. How long until every homeowner here is paying to clean up her mess?" That landed hard. In the end, the board caved, temporarily suspended Karen's authority, pending investigation, and scheduled a full recall vote for the following week. But I wasn't stopping there, because Karen tried to break me. Now I was going to break her grip on this neighborhood, for good. Want to hear what happened at the recall vote? Or what we found in Karen's HOA emails later? Stick around. This story's just heating up. I said, time to show him who she is. That night, the Sycamore Heights Community Center was packed, 60 neighbors buzzing with whispers. Tom Reynolds, the gray-haired treasurer, ran the show. Karen's seat? Empty. "We got a situation," he started, uneasy. "Karen Wilcox was arrested. Alleged oil dumping in Dan Green's pool. Police and EPA are involved." I stood, holding my phone. "Not alleged. Got video. 2 a.m., July 17th. Poured 40 gallons into my pool. Look, I played it on the projector. Karen, clear as day. Jug after jug. Gasps filled the room, then shouts. That's her. She fined me too." Tom paled. This is serious. "Dan, you're sure?" "For cameras. Timestamps," I said. "She's been targeting me. Fines for nothing. Door, lights, pool. Now this. She's out of control." Lisa stood. "She fined my roses, $200. Dan's right. She picks who she wants." Tom rubbed his face. "We'll investigate. Board's meeting tomorrow." "Dan, clean up?" "EPA says $120,000, I said. "She's liable. I'm not paying for her mess." The room turned angry, murmurs, heads nodding my way. Karen thought she'd break me. But that oil? It broke her grip. I sat down, pulse racing, knowing the EPA and cops were closing in. She'd deny, deflect, but I had proof. And Sycamore Heights was waking up. The air in the Sycamore Heights Community Center crackled with tension that night, July 19th, 2024, as 60 neighbors packed the room for the emergency HOA meeting. I'm Daniel Green, Danny too, and I stood there, still reeling from finding my pool turned into an oily cesspit by Karen Wilcox, our unhinged HOA president. My security footage had her dead to rights, 2 a.m., pouring 40 gallons of motor oil into my backyard sanctuary. But she wasn't going down quiet. The EPA was circling. Cops had her in custody. And now the neighborhood was buzzing. I thought exposing her would end it. But Karen had one last twist up her sleeve, and it nearly threw me off the cliff. Tom Reynolds, the HOA treasurer, banged a gavel, his face grim. "All right, settle down. Karen's arrest, oil in Dan's pool, has us in a mess. Dan's shown video. Police and EPA are on it. We need answers." I stood, Voice steady despite my nerves. It's her. For cameras. Timestamps. July 17th. She's been finding me for months. Door, lights, pool. Then this. She's out of control. Lisa Carter backed me up, shaky but loud. She find my roses last year, $200. Dan's not lying. She picks targets. The room shifted, nods, murmurs, a few Me Too-s. Then the door slammed open. And there she was. Karen. Out on bail. Hair perfect. Eyes blazing. She marched to the front, cutting Tom off. This is outrageous. That video is fake. Doctor deframe me. I'd never touch his pool. Frame you. I shot back, holding up my phone. 4 angles. Your face. Your car down the street. Explain that. She smirked, cool as ice. EPA's? I got proof Dan's the polluter. That oil. From his garage. Spilled during maintenance. He hid it. I saw it. Tried to warn him. Check his property records. He's got violations piled up. My stomach dropped. What the hell? The crowd turned. Eyes on me. Whispers spiking.